Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am going to be sharing with you guys my summer shop my stash today. I have gone through my entire makeup collection, picked out all of the things that I am the most excited to get some use out of this summer. I have everything covered in here. We've got bronzers, blushes, highlights, my favorite lip products, my favorite foundation and base products, and of course, all my favorite eyeshadow palettes. There are a lot of them. I will warn you right now. But if you guys are curious to see what makeup I am eager to use this summer, this should be a good one for you. Before we jump into the shop my stash, I want to send a special welcome to any of you that are new here. Welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you enjoy my channel. Please be sure to subscribe before you leave and make sure that notification bell is turned on so you don't miss out every time I upload a new video. And with that said, let's get right to it. Alright you guys, so here is everything in my bin right here. This bin I got a couple of months ago on the Ulta website. I absolutely love this. It is perfect for these shop my stashes that I do. It holds everything except for the eyeshadow palettes because I do have quite a few that we'll get to at the end of the video. But let's just go through all of this first. I kind of have these separated by category. Let's start here at the top. We'll start with foundations and primers, setting sprays, and then I have some lip products over here. Let's start with a couple of primers. So I did pick out my Milani Soft Focus Glow. I'm pretty close to using this up. I picked it up last spring, I believe, and I didn't love it at first, but it has grown on me. I do actually really like how this wears underneath my foundation. It's very hydrating. It does give a really nice glow to the skin. And then I also, for a primer, picked this right here. This is the Touch in Sol No Poreblem primer. This is their priming essence. I actually really love this stuff. I've been using it pretty consistently for the last couple of weeks, and I really love how soft and supple this makes my skin. Kind of a weird word, supple, but that's the only word I can think of to describe how this makes my skin. It's very, very hydrating, but it almost leaves my skin feeling kind of tacky in a very, very good way. I really do like it. Then one more primer I have is the Ofra Cucumber Primer. I really love this one. I've been talking a lot about it recently. Let's go through a couple of setting sprays that I've got here. My ColourPop Pretty Fresh setting spray, one of my very favorites. I actually already have a full size of this on backup that I picked up a while ago when it was on sale. And then of course my Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. So this is a mini size. I have a full size sitting down in one of my drawers that I just refill this smaller one because it doesn't take up quite as much space. But I have come to really love this stuff and rely on it, especially when I really want my makeup to last a long time. I do find that this helps quite a bit. One more sort of primer that's hiding back here. I actually use this more as a liquid highlighter. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. This still has quite a bit of product left in it, and I've had this for over a year. I really need to start using this more often. It is one of my favorite products in my collection. It is such a beautiful formula. I probably should start using this underneath my foundation. I know you can use it as a primer under your foundation. I always reserve it for kind of a subtle liquid highlight on top of my foundation because it's just so pretty. I hate to cover it up, but it's a really nice product. Very expensive, but I don't think I have anything in my collection that feels quite as nice in formula as that one does. Not to mention the packaging is absolutely gorgeous. I really, really love it. Let's go on to some foundations. I picked out the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue Foundation. This was one of my favorite discoveries from last year. I think I tried this out like last fall. Really like how this looks on my skin. It's very nice and hydrating. It gives a nice healthy glow. The shade I have is 2W1, which seems to be a pretty good shade match to me. I actually find a lot of my foundation products and even concealers are a little bit light for me right now, but I do have something to help with that we'll get to in just a sec. I also picked out my Misha BB cream, one of my favorites, especially for summertime. This one's in the shade number 27, which is a great match for me. Then behind that one, I've got my L'Oreal Infallible Freshwater Foundation. I probably will put this into every single shop my stash from here to eternity because this I really rely on for those days when I need my foundation to last a really long time. This is a great one for summertime if you find your foundation kind of melts off your skin, or if you're maybe going to a theme park or something, you want something that's actually going to last in the hot summer heat. This is the best wearing foundation in my entire collection. I also like using it as a mix-in to get other foundations to last a little bit longer. I also picked out my Mison Snail Repair BB cream, one of my very favorite foundations that I have. I mean, there's a lot of product in here, but I feel like I've used quite a bit already. I don't know, it says there's 50 grams, which is 1.76 ounces. I mean, that's almost 2 ounces. I have a hard time believing that I've used that much yet, but I feel like it's kind of already getting sort of low. I need to pick up a couple backups of that because I love it. I don't think I can live without that one. It's my favorite foundation currently. Also picked out my Thrive Cosmetics Buildable Blur CC Cream. This isn't my favorite thing in the world. When I first tried this out, it was a little bit too dark for me, but as my skin has gotten a little bit more tan, I'm going to give it another shot because I feel like it matches me a little bit better now, and we'll see how I like the formula now that the shade matches a little bit better. Let's take a look at these two brow products. I picked out my Ulta Beauty Ultra Slim brow pencil and also my e.l.f. brow wax that I tend to use those ones pretty consistently. Sometimes I don't even put them into my actual Shop My Stash. They just always sit on top of my desk because I do use those quite a bit. Then as a brow gel, I picked the e.l.f. and Jen Atkin Clear Brow Gel. Mine's getting a little bit dirty, but I do really love this as a brow setter. Works really well. I love how it holds my brows in place without having them be too crunchy, but it also gives them some definition. Now let's go through the lip products that I picked out. I have my ColourPop Luxe Lip Oil in the shade Skinny Dip. I really like this product. It's super, super comfortable. I just don't like the smell of it. It's not scented. It doesn't have like a sugary scent to it. And I almost always like, especially my lip glosses, to have kind of a sweet scent to it. So I wish this one was scented. I do really like the very kind of neutral peachy color. It's a really pretty neutral color. It looks really beautiful on the skin. It's super, super comfortable. Not sticky at all. Another one I love is my Lifter Gloss from Maybelline. This is one of my favorite lip glosses. It is the opposite of the ColourPop one in the way that it smells. This one smells delicious. This is probably the best smelling lip product that I have in my entire collection. It smells so, so yummy. And I love the formula. It's really nice. It's also not too sticky. This one is more of like a mid-tone nude pink, but it looks beautiful on my lips. It looks great on top of pretty much any lip liner. It's a really good nude shade for me, and I love the formula. A couple more lip glosses I picked out. First off, my Flower Beauty Chill Out Lip Glaze. I really like this stuff. Very, very comfortable. Not super, super shiny, but it's definitely not sticky. If you don't like sticky lip glosses, you probably would love this stuff. I also picked out the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Creme Brulee, a good staple for a summer nude lip. Then some lipsticks I picked out. I kept in my Charlotte Tilbury JK Magic lipstick, one of my favorites. Also grabbed my Juvia's Place lipstick in the shade Chic. Beautiful shade. Actually, let me swatch these two for you guys. I feel like these are two perfect nudes for me. This one's a little bit more cool toned and pink, whereas the JK Magic is more like a peach if I want a warmer lip. There it is right there. Both beautiful formulas, nice and creamy, but also kind of mattifying. I actually think the Juvia's Place one is a little bit more mattifying, but neither of them are uncomfortable. Then I grabbed these two right here. First off, my Baddest Beige from Maybelline. Just a good nude. I love this one with a deeper lip liner. It's a lighter nude. I definitely need a lip liner when I use this one, but if I'm going for that very almost canceled out lip look, or I really want to do like a strong eye, that's a good one to reach for. Another one of my favorites is the Flower Beauty matte lipstick in the shade Naked Blush. This is actually pretty similar to the JK Magic. It just has a little bit more pink in it, and it's more matte than the JK Magic, but a really nice formula. Super, super comfortable. Very high-end feeling, the formula of these lipsticks. I have these two lip balms right here. I picked out this one. These are both actually from YesStyle. This one's from the brand The Same. I'm still kind of on the fence on this one. I'm not a big fan of the applicator, actually. It has a nice scent. It's just a kind of clear lip oil, but it is a little bit sticky, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I'm trying to get some use out of it since I have it. Then this one here is from Innisfree. I do kind of like this one. I have to be careful how I use it because it actually is quite bold, but it's a really nice, if you like something kind of coral colored, this is a really nice coral, and it is a really comfortable formula. So see if I can get some use out of that this summer. All right, I've tried to wipe those off. I do have 3 liquid lipsticks that are my favorite shades to reach for summer. First off, this one from Flower Beauty. This is her Miracle Matte Lip in the shade Melon Pop. This is such a fun shade. If you like something bright, this is like a bright, almost neon pink toned red. Such a fun color. It's actually the same shade as my watch. What do you know? Another favorite of mine for summertime if I want to do a bold lip. This is Persona's Phoenix. I actually like this shade all year long. It's a perfect red for me. It has a touch of orange in it. Good staple brightening red. I absolutely love this one so much. I get compliments on my lips almost every time I wear this. And then this one, which I'm wearing in this video today, you'll see it in a upcoming Get Ready With Me, kind of trying out some summertime makeup. This one is from Milani. This is the shade Fancy. Really fun color. It's very bold. I mean, this one is truly like neon. Takes a bit of bravery for me to wear this one, but I do think it's a fun one, especially for summertime. All right, let's move into these top 2 drawers. So I have my mascaras, and then on this side I have my concealers. So mascaras, I picked out quite a few. Actually, I think I meant to put this one back, but I'm gonna leave it in here because I'm actually getting pretty close to using this one up. This is the Smashbox Superfan mascara. It's a mini. I think I got it in a set from Sephora. I actually really like this mascara. I've been surprised at how much I've been enjoying it and reaching for it. It's a really good separating mascara if you like really defined lashes that have no clumps whatsoever and look nice and even and separated. It's a really nice one. I also have my Thrive Cosmetics mascara, classic for summertime or all year long for that matter. Picked another one of my favorites, the It Cosmetics Superhero mascara. I actually haven't been using this one for the last couple months, so I need to try and get some use out of it before it expires. I pulled in my Bambi Eye mascara. This is the waterproof version. I don't love this one. I don't know if it's because of the actual mascara or wand itself or just because it's the waterproof version, but I do like using this on my lower lashes, so I'm going to try and get some use out of that in the summertime. I grabbed in my Flower Beauty Warrior Princess mascara. This is a really nice mascara, especially if you like really long full lashes. It reminds me a little bit of the Lash Princess mascara from L'Oreal. And then I grabbed my Tony Moly Delight Circle Lens mascara, another one of my favorites. All right, moving over to concealers. I first off have this one right here. This is from Hope Girl. I got this on Yes Style. I want to say I paid about $11 for it, but there is a lot of product inside here. And I kind of like it. It's a little bit light for me, but I've been using this on top of my eyeshadow primer or as an eyeshadow primer just to kind of cancel out my eyelids and brighten them up. It works really well for me. Also, I have a eyeshadow primer in here. I picked the Alter Ego eyeshadow primer. I have two of these and I really do like this one. I pulled in this thing right here. I just recently got this from e.l.f. This is their mix to match shade adjuster. This is in the darker version. I also have the white version of this one, but I basically use this if my foundation or concealer is too light for me. I'll add just a tiny bit of this to get the shade match to work for me, and it works really well. I don't find it to affect the formula too much. I've been using it a lot lately because, as I've said, a lot of my base products and foundations are getting a little bit too light as I'm getting a little bit more of a tan. I kept in my Kosas concealer. This has been my most used concealer for the last couple of months. I'm actually trying to stop using it so much because I'm worried it's gonna run out, but I really, really love it. It matches me really great right now. I can use it pretty much anywhere on the perimeter of my face or under my eyes. Such a nice concealer. One of my favorite concealers that I have yet tried. I have the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer right here. This is the shade M100. Works really well for me. Then I pulled in two of the Revlon Candid concealers. I have the shade 005 and 030. Another one of my very favorite concealers of all time. In fact, I think this was ranked as my #1 concealer. I love it. I think it is so fantastic, especially for the price. And last but not least, I wanted to keep in the Wet n Wild Incognito concealer. Another one of my favorites that I'm really, really enjoying. I think it's a great one, especially for the price. Moving down to this drawer right here, I have a bunch of blushes. So I kept in the Kaja Trio. I tried this out from Sephora last month, I believe, maybe the month before. I really do like it. I especially love the bronzer in here, the cream bronzer. It's really, really nice. It reminds me a lot of the one from Patrick Ta, at least the formula of it. I think this one's a little bit warmer, just a tiny bit. Actually, the shade is very similar to the Milk Makeup Bronzer Stick. Let me give these a quick little swatch. So here's the bronzer right there. I know my lighting might not be situated perfectly. Then I have the highlighter right here. Really nice, almost iridescent looking peach champagne highlight. It's really, really pretty. And then the blush right here, it's actually a lot more peach on my skin than it looks in the pan. The pan makes it look like a basic pink, but it's pretty warm, but I do like it. It's a really nice formula, quite brightening and quite pigmented. I pulled in my Flower Beauty Gel Crush Lip and Cheek. This one is in the shade Strawberry Crush. I really love these. They do remind me a lot of some of my other favorite multi-purpose products like the Milk Makeup one. It reminds me a little bit of that one, but I do like using this type of a product on my lips and my cheeks in the summertime. This is a really beautiful neutral shade that I think would work for anyone with medium to light or fair skin. Actually, let me swatch that really quickly for you guys. You can kind of see just a good basic pink. Then I grabbed this right here. This is from the brand Sugar Ball. It's their Cushion Cheek color. I don't think they make these anymore, but I love this color so much. It's very, very unique. I don't have anything else like this. This one is in the shade Daisy Coral. Let me just swatch it for you guys. You will die. This is so, so pretty. Okay, you won't die, but it's beautiful. It's this like milky, peachy pink. It's almost like a milky neon peach. I don't know. It's really interesting. It's so pretty on the cheeks, very brightening. I love wearing this when I have a little bit of a tan. I also pulled in the Flower Beauty Flower Pots blush. This one's in the shade Warm Hibiscus. Has a bit of a sheen to it. A nice basic pink with a little bit of a gold shift. Really pretty color. I love this one on my cheeks in the summertime. And actually, that blush reminds me a little bit of this one. This is the Milani Classic Luminoso blush. This is the original. I heard someone say they've changed the formula. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've had this blush for probably 5 years. This one is quite a bit more peach or orange in tone, but the formulas of these two do remind me quite a bit of each other. This one's just a little bit more pink, but both have this beautiful, lovely sheen. Such a pretty, pretty blush color. I grabbed the Alamar Cosmetics Trio. This one is the light version, or fair light version. I love this one. It has some really fun shades in here. These oranges are definitely unique shades of blush. I probably don't use them super often. This is a good staple blush shade that I feel like goes with anything. But I think these type of shades are kind of fun to have for just different kind of looks, or if I want to do something kind of bright or fun. I do really love the formula of those as well. I don't know if they still make the Alamar trios or not. I kept in my Cheek Dew in the shade Hot Fuss. I have been really loving this for the last month or so. It's a really interesting shade. I initially was very intimidated by it, but the more I've used it and kind of learned how best to use it, the more I love it. So I usually will just take a little swipe, kind of put it on the back of my hand, then I'll take a stippling brush, tap it in there, and then tap it onto my cheeks. It is so, so pretty and so natural looking. It's a really natural looking cheek color, at least on me, but I do think this would work for a lot of different skin tones. And last but not least, I have the Juicy Pink Jelly Blusher. This one is in the shade, oh boy, I can't remember. BE01, I can't remember what that's called. It might be grapefruit, but it's just kind of a light peachy shade. I mentioned in a recent video that these are kind of a dupe for the Bare Minerals Bounce and Blur blushes or the MAC Glow Play blushes. I'm kind of running out of room. Let me swatch it right here. It's very subtle, very neutral. If you have super fair skin, this would probably be a really beautiful blush shade on you. It does show up on me, but it's really nice and natural looking and a really nice formula. Next drawer down from that, I have my highlighters and then some kind of miscellaneous multi-purpose products. So let's start with the highlighters that I have selected. Scratch that. Actually, I do have one more blush. I think I put this in the wrong drawer. This is from NARS. This is the NARS blush in the shade Madly, a very nice neutral blush. I did use this in a recent video, so if you happen to see it, you'll have seen me use it recently. I'm going to put that in that drawer. Now let's move into my highlighters. So I picked this right here. This is from Daniel Sandler. This is the Sun Glow Watercolor Cheek Color. This is kind of a mix between a bronzer and a highlight. I do like how this looks on my skin in the summertime. It's really, really glowy. It's not super dark. Let me just see if I can kind of swatch it for you guys. These are kind of oily. I have mentioned they're a little bit tricky to work with, but they do give you this really beautiful glow that looks really, really natural, almost greasy, but in the very best way, like a natural greasy look. Still sounded bad, but I think of all the ones I have, this one is probably my favorite. I also pulled in this I also got in my recent Yes Style video. This is the same cream stick blusher. This is in their highlight shade. It's a really pretty shade. It's a really nice kind of champagne shell pink that looks really, really pretty on the cheeks. Really nice formula. I also pulled in my Artist Couture Summer Haze Diamond Glow Powder. I don't think they make this shade anymore. I got this in a BoxyCharm probably 2 or 3 years ago, but I do really like this stuff, especially in the summertime. It is super, super intense. Let's see if I can swatch it for you guys. It has this beautiful sparkly glow, but the sparkle particles are super, super refined and subtle. Very, very pretty kind of spotlight highlight color. I actually like using this on my inner corner as well. Really beautiful color. I also grabbed my Wet n Wild Precious Petals highlighter, one of my favorites for the summertime. I think this is one of the best highlighters at the drugstore, but only this specific shade. I have quite a few more of these Mega Glow highlighting powders in different colors, and this one I think has the best color and formula. Some of the other ones are a little bit chalky on me, but I love this color. I had to pull back in one of my favorite highlighters for the summertime. This is Persona Zuma. This truly, you guys, is perhaps one of my favorite highlighters in my entire collection. It is so beautiful and golden. The formula is lovely. It looks so pretty on the skin. I just love it so, so much. And then I pulled in this NYX Born to Glow highlighter that I got recently from the drugstore. I don't love this. I mean, it's not bad. I paid like $12 for this though, and it's just kind of like, it's okay. It's not like the best in the world. It's not terrible, but I really only like this one right here. This one's a little bit too sparkly for me, but I'm going to try and get some use out of it. I still have only used this a handful of times, so I don't want to judge it too harshly yet, but so far for the price, I think there's better ones at the drugstore. I pulled in all 3 of my Hard Candy Plumping Serum Lip Balms. I have 3 different shades. This one right here is Bountiful Bear. This one right here is my favorite. It's Colossal Caramel, and then this one right here is the shade Richly Rose. I love having these. these. I've used them on my cheeks. I especially love using Colossal Caramel on my cheeks. This lighter shade, Bountiful Bear, doesn't show up a whole lot on my cheeks, so I really just kind of reserve this for a lip balm. I'll often put this on before I start filming a video, before I put my makeup on, because it's really just a slightly tinted, very comfortable but slightly pumping lip balm. I really love how these wear. I love how they feel, and I do love them on my cheeks. I've warned you guys to be careful putting them on your own cheeks because they do have quite a bit of that plumping, almost cinnamon kind of plumping effect that you might be familiar with. I know they're not meant for the cheek, so I don't know. I guess there's the possibility you could have a bad reaction to them. They work for me, but I just want to warn you guys, put them on your cheeks at your own risk. Moving down here, I have a random brow product and then my bronzer. So this is the ColourPop Brow Styling Wax that I've really been enjoying. For a cream bronzer, I pulled in my good old Wet n Wild contour in the shade Where's Walnut. This is a really dark shade, but I love the formula of this. If you're looking for a cream bronzer to try that's not going to break the bank, this is always the first one that I recommend. They do have a couple more shades, but I do like the undertone of this shade a little bit better on me. Also pulled in my Hourglass Bronzer in the shade Luminous Bronze Light. Really nice warm bronzer for the summertime. It has a really beautiful soft glow. And then I pulled in my Revlon Skin Lights bronzer in the shade Sun-Kissed Beam. This one has a really nice glow as well. It is quite warm. This is one I only like in the summertime because it can turn a little orange on me. In the winter, I do need a little bit more of a tan to wear this one, but I do really like the formula. One of my very favorites right now is the Taw Bronzer Duo. Love this cream product especially. It is so creamy and blends out so quickly. Let me swatch it next to the Wet n Wild one for you guys. There it is. As you can see, very different shade. It's not quite as deep. It also has a little bit more of like a cool undertone to it. There we go. That's better lighting right there. Really creamy. Blends out so beautifully. Let me also swatch the powder for you guys underneath that Revlon one. Really nice shade as well. This one is quite warm, but I love those two together. I also pulled in my Juvia's Place Bronzer Duo. Let me swatch this one for you guys as well. Actually, let me wipe these off first. Here is the lighter shade. It probably won't show up very much on my skin. It's pretty light, but I do really love it. And then here's the darker shade. This one is quite a bit more warm, but I do think it gives a really nice warm bronze. Really pretty formula. They are matte. I really love these. I did feature these in a recent video, so you can check back if you're interested in seeing that. I did also include down here some nail polish shades that I want to use this summer. Most of these are from Olive & June, as you probably might guess. You guys know how much I love the Olive & June nail polishes. So these two right here come from the most recent summer line. These I actually bought with my own money. They didn't send me this set in PR, so I did pick these up on my own, but I've tried all of them now. I am wearing the one in the middle, the purple, on my nails today. I absolutely love it. Initially I tried out the yellow. I thought this might be the funnest summer shade I've ever tried. This one's in the shade Lemony Lemon. I think I did have this on my nails in a recent video, as well as the blue one, which is the shade Blueberry Smash. I put this one on, thought I might like this one better. Then I put the Grape Soda on. I think this is my very favorite of the bunch. I think it is such a fun, bright, but not too bright. It's also a little bit deep. Very bold. If you like a purple, this is a really fun summertime purple. I also included a nude. This is an older shade from them, but I picked it up when I bought these three right here because I didn't have this one yet. This is the shade GH. I actually haven't tried it yet. It looks like just like a blush pink. I'm not quite sure how sheer this one is. It might be one of those that's kind of more sheer. Try and keep you guys posted on this one, but I do love a good basic nude in the summertime on occasion. This is another one of my favorites for summer. This is the shade Hibiscus. Really fun pink for summertime. I also have their black. This is the shade E&M. I've been loving this on my toenails. I've painted my toenails black for the last, I think, month or two, and I still love having them black. I don't know why, but I love having like a bright, bold color on my nails and then a basic black on my toenails. This one right here is from LA Colors. This is one of my favorites from this line, which is super affordable. I think you can find these at Walmart. This one is in the shade Family Ties. Really beautiful, bold, bright pink shade for summer. I do really love the formula of these as well. They last really well on my nails. So those are the nail colors that I picked out for summertime. And that is pretty much everything for my Shop My Stash other than my eyeshadow. So let's get into all the eyeshadow palettes that I picked out for summer. And I'll tell you guys, it's a doozy. There's a lot. All right, you guys, so here's my bin of eyeshadow palettes. There are a ton of them, but there are a couple in here that are newer to me and I need to keep using them because I do have, at the end of this month, I'm supposed to do my halfway through the year ranking all the palettes that I've tried out this year. And there's a couple that I feel like I don't quite know yet. So let's just go through them all. Let's start with these two smaller ones up front. I put in here the Natasha Denona Mini Nude Palette. This is a great staple palette. Love this one for summertime. Good staple palette, and I especially love it for like if I'm I'm traveling. This is a great one to take with you because it's super tiny, but they perform amazingly well. I also included the Wet n Wild Go Commando palette. I really love this one, especially when I want like a warm copper colored eye. This is such a pretty palette. You guys know how much I love the formula of these Wet n Wild eyeshadows. I think they are so great. Had to pull in my e.l.f. Retro Paradise palette. This was one of my favorite palettes from last summer. I did mention recently that this palette does remind me a little bit of the Natasha Denona, the new Zendo palette. There are some definite differences between the two palettes, but they're similar in just kind of their vibe and feel. And there are a few shades that are pretty close to, but I really love this palette. It's a fun one for summertime. I like the formula of these. I mean, e.l.f. probably doesn't make my very favorite formula in the world, but for the price, I think they're good. And this is a really fun palette if you want to dip into color or maybe try out some color, but you don't want to spend a fortune to do it. There are a few shades in here I still haven't used. I haven't yet used this green on my eyes or the matte purple. I think those would be really fun to try out. So maybe I will challenge myself to try those out this summer because I do really love this palette. I had to pull in here this one right here. This is from Ofra and Samantha March. I did get this about a month ago. I actually just used it for the first time today. You'll see that in an upcoming video, and very happy with it. I actually think the formula is really, really nice. I had never tried out the Ofra formula before, at least not their eyeshadow formula, and I really love these face products in here. I think Samantha did a great job with this palette. It's a really, really nice one. Only, of course, if you're into pinks and purples, but if you are into pinks and purples, I think this is a great one. You probably would really love it. I also pulled in this one right here. This is from Nabla. So when I placed my order, I think I ordered these during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty because they had a bunch of the Nabla palettes on sale. I think this might be one of my favorites of the bunch, other than the silver one, the smaller palettes. I think I like these smaller palettes perhaps even more than I like the larger palettes. This is such a fun one. I love these shimmers right here. They are so, so pretty on the eyes. I love that you get this bold neon kind of coral shade, which I love reaching for this kind of shade in the summertime. You also get some good staple deep shades right there as well. Really fun palette. I've been surprised at how much I've enjoyed this one. I think it's perfect for summer. Sticking with Nabla, I also pulled in the Nabla Secret palette. I'm still getting to know this palette. This is one of the ones that I feel like I need to use a little bit more before I can give this an honest ranking compared to the other palettes that I've tried out this year. I think the formula of the Nabla palettes is fantastic. I just haven't used all the shades inside here yet. The shades that I've tried, I've been really impressed with. I think there's just a handful of shades in here that I haven't yet tried. I pulled in the Ménage à Moi palette. This is another one that I pulled in. I've used this once or twice and been super happy with it, very impressed with it. Actually, the shades in this kind of remind me of the ones in the Samantha March palette. Very similar kind of vibe. This one does have some pressed glitters in it. This is a really fun, pretty palette. I wanted to pull it in though to give it a couple more uses again so that I can give it an honest ranking in my upcoming palette ranking video. So that's why I pulled it in. I'm determined to get some more use out of it in the next couple weeks. Next up, one of my favorite summertime palettes is the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. Oh, this is such a fun summertime palette. Alter Ego does make a dupe for this palette that is pretty darn close, if not identical. So definitely check that one out if the $65 price range is out of your budget and you like this kind of color story. These two shades right here, these two yellow oranges, are so, so fun in the summertime. I love reaching for those. Love the formula of Natasha Denona eyeshadows. They are obnoxiously expensive, but I still really enjoy her palettes, especially the ones that are this size. I mean, I don't want to say they're cheaper, but they are cheaper than her $129 or $125 palettes. So makes me feel a little bit better about getting them, and I love them. I kind of hate to admit it, but I do. I love them. Of course, I had to keep in the Natasha Denona Zendo palette. I've been enjoying this palette so, so much. I've mentioned to you guys how much I am loving this mint green shade. This is one of the funnest shades I've tried in a really long time. It's rare for one shade to just really like blow me away that much, but this one has been so much fun. I sometimes will reach for just that shade, even with other palettes. I've actually reached for it with some of the other palettes I've tried, but whenever I use this palette, I almost always use that shade because I love it so much. Another old favorite of mine, especially in the summertime, is the Alamar Cosmetics Reina del Caribe palette. Do you guys remember this palette? How many of you guys that did BoxyCharm like 2 years ago got this in your BoxyCharm and hung on to it? I would love to know. This is still such a great palette. I don't know that you can buy it anymore, but I don't know that I'll ever declutter this thing because it's one of my favorites. It's so, so good. The shades in here are fantastic. The formula of these shadows are absolutely stunning. They are so, so pretty. I love this green. I love this shell pink. This one's more metallic. This one's more of like a satiny shimmer, but both have such a beautiful, beautiful formula. Let me give them a quick little swatch on my stained hands for you guys. And then the mattes in here are so pigmented, so delicious. I absolutely love them. This is a fun palette to travel with. I love traveling with this one in the summertime, and I love the looks that come out of that palette. I also pulled in the Masquerade Mini by Juvia's Place. This is newer to me. It's not newer to the market. I know that this has been around forever. Probably you guys are all familiar with this palette. I did use it recently in a more colorful makeup look video that I did, and I love it. I love these bronze shades down here for summertime, but I want to keep challenging myself to try and use some of these colorful shades as well. We'll see. Some of these are seriously bold. You guys, look at this blue. Have you ever seen something so beautiful but so terrifying? I love swatching it. I'm not sure I'm brave enough to put it on my eyes, but good heavens, isn't that the prettiest thing you have ever seen? And then sticking with color, I also pulled in the Wahala palette. This made it through my recent video. I decided to hold on to this one a little bit longer and give it a little bit more use. And if ever there was a time to use it a little more, it would be in the summertime. There are some really fun summertime shades inside here. I know there are a lot of people out there that really love this palette. I just need to not be so intimidated by some of these bold shades and try and work them into some looks, because I do think that I could create some really beautiful looks with this palette, and ones that wouldn't be out of my comfort zone, even though the palette of a whole looks completely out of my comfort zone. But there are some really fun shades in here that I think I could get some use out of. And last but not least, I pulled in the Dominique Cosmetics Berries and Cream palette. I've used this one a handful of times. Again, this is one that's kind of been overlooked just because I've been trying out too many. Got this on sale at Sephora. I will say the formula of these is absolutely stellar. I mean, they are amazing, especially her matte formula. It blends like a dream. It's really, really nice. I do love what I've tried so far. There are still some shades in here I haven't tried out yet, so I want to get to know it a little better so I can rank it for that upcoming video that I keep mentioning. I do think this blue looks so much fun. Look at that navy blue. Oh my goodness. It feels like butter. Honestly, these mattes are just so, so pretty. Really pretty palette. I do want to say, I actually wish the packaging, the outer packaging, looked like this. I don't know why. I don't like this packaging very much. I'm sorry to say. I don't mean to hurt Dominique's feelings, but I think I like just more simple, sleek packaging, and I kind of wish the outer packaging looked like this. Very minor critique. It's not the end of the world for me. It's definitely not going to keep me from reaching for the palette, but just something I thought of while I was using it recently. So that is it for my eyeshadows. Let me know which ones you guys are the most eager to see. It's going to be awfully hard for me to work through all of these palettes in the next couple months during the summertime, but by golly, I'm excited to try. So let me know which ones you guys would like to see in some upcoming videos. I would love to feature them for you guys. Leave me a comment down below. But that is it for my Shop My Stash. Alright you guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed that. Let me know which of these products you are most excited to see me use. I will be coming back very soon in just a couple of days and sharing with you guys this makeup look right here, which I created using some of these items. So that should be fun. But let me know what else you guys would love to see me use on camera. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you guys are doing well. One more reminder to subscribe before you leave if you have not yet done that. But that's all I have for today. Thank you guys again. I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.